So, how does it feel when all your meticulously crafted plans have led you to an event you cannot control?
Pretty much as this episode felt.
And that's actually a good thing, narratively speaking. There's always something that ends up being pretty boring about being able to see or foretell the future. It removes agency, it removes any sense of free will. Events move as you predicted them. Or are the events you foresee actually shaping your actions so you make them happen? Thinking like that can give you a headache.
Or a misplaced sense of omnipotence. So I really liked it as the script was flipped in this episode. All this time, Sheldon knew more than anyone else, acting pompously divine.
As any cult-like figure would.
The age of Foundation acting as a religion was over long ago, Gigi.
Cults are a hard habit for humanity to break, Commander.
Just like the cult of robots Song belongs to.
Days Concubine? This episode was full of unexpected twists and turns, which were so enjoyable. It really felt like we were going off script, which, for a series about predicting and shaping the future, was very refreshing.
So, what was surprising this time?
Well, for one thing, Dawn is dead. I had not expected that.
But he had his spacesuit on.
Yeah, but according to Demoiselle, his nanites stopped working, so it's bye-bye from Dawn.
Damn!
And speaking of Demoiselle, it turns out she was working with Harry this whole time.
Which explains why Harry gave her the Prime Radiant last season. Wasn't that made clear to the audience when Harry did that, though?
That was 2 years ago, McCluck. A long time to forget what happened. So, if that was the case, then we got the same shock reveal twice, and it affected us the same both times.
And that can only be a good thing.
Finally, a benefit of having to wait years for a handful of episodes.
Okay, so what else?
The Demoiselle reveal was pretty huge, Mouse. Actually, I've had this feeling since the start of this season that she's becoming the most important character in this story.
Well, she's the only one who actually lives through all these centuries. The Cleons live and die and are reborn, and Gale just hibernates through most of the time. When you think about it, it pretty much makes sense.
True, but up to now, she was just there on the periphery. Last season's reveal of who she was huge, but this feels even bigger. Now, as for what else, there was a short scene near the start of the first season where Gale traveled through hyperspace and she happened to be awake for a brief moment. A little scene, a little nothing, which came back now to explain how that was the moment when her powers manifested.
Damn, talk about planting seeds in the past that bloom in the present. And the digital Harry came back with his pompous, know-it-all attitude.
Which totally backfired because although the living Sheldon knew of the mule, the digital version didn't, taking him totally off guard.
I'm surprised he didn't know what was going on. I mean, he knew Empire was contracting and Foundation was growing in power, so how could he not see what the third crisis was about?
Well, it's a nice way to show us Harry's better computer program. Nothing all-knowing or all-powerful about him.
Bit of a shocking wake-up call for the residents of New Terminus, mind.
A pretty deadly one for many of them.
And speaking of all-powerful, they get some shocking revelations himself.
Yes, he finally reaches Song, and his reunion doesn't go as he expected, at all.
Never took Empire to be so naive.
I guess he really did love her, and love makes a fool of us all. So to recap, everything's changing. The mule has reached New Terminus, so it's probably too late for them. Digital Harry has been flummoxed and disappeared. Old physical Harry is still nowhere to be seen. Gale survived her encounter with Demoiselle, who now likely knows more than she does through some invasive mental probing.
That was delightfully gruesome.
Dawn's dead, Day's in a pretty big pickle, and everything's unraveling pretty fast.
Funny how last week you said, of course they couldn't have stopped the mule so soon, there's still half a season left. And now, just one episode later, everything's collapsing around our characters. And it looks like Gale will end up in or near a black hole or something, which seems to be where psychohistory ends.
I tell you what, I'm now more excited than ever to see what happens next. I'm awarding The Shape of Time 3.5 paws. But tell me, what do you think of this episode? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you like what we do,
and how we do it,
and you feel you'd like to help us out,
please consider joining our Patreon.
As long as you can afford it, of course.
We'll leave a link to it in the description and pinned comment.
Thanks for watching. See you all next time, and until then, live long.
And to infinity and beyond.
Yeah, but according to Demoiselle, his nanites stopped working. Yeah, but according to Demoiselle, his nanites stopped working, so it's bye-bye from Dawn.